One of the longest federal investigations of a police department will come to light this morning.
The Department of Justice will release its findings of its investigation into the Albuquerque Police Department this morning. We have coverage all day long on KRQE and on KRQE.com. We're going to start things off with Samantha McDonald, who is live at APD headquarters with a preview. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Elizabeth. This may be the end of the investigation, but it's only the beginning of what could be a long and expensive overhaul of the Albuquerque Police Department.
We will follow the facts wherever the facts lead us.
That was a year and a half ago when the DOJ began its investigation into APD. Since then, they've been doing interviews, digging through documents, and reviewing videos as they investigate the culture and use of force at APD. If other police departments investigated by the feds give us some insight, today they could issue an open letter to the mayor and the police chief of the problems found and recommend changing policies. This includes how APD hires and trains officers and how it runs the Internal Affairs Division.
We don't know exactly what it will say, but it'll be good to get that information because that's a big piece of what we need to move forward.
Now, don't expect this report to be full of statistics. Expect them to highlight major incidents in the last 4 years, like the case of Kenneth Ellis Jr., who was shot and killed by APD as he held a gun to his own head. Back to you.
Okay, Samantha, thank you very much. Now, just so you know, changes won't begin immediately after the DOJ releases its report. The city and the feds will work out an agreement to make those changes, and the DOJ will likely put a monitor in place to ensure that that happens. Again, the announcement will take place this morning. There is a special webpage dedicated to get you caught up with everything having to do with the APD shootings, use of force, and the Department of Justice inquiry. It includes fact sheets, background information, previous news coverage, videos, pictures, maps, and much more. To access the DOJ page, just go to KRQE.com and click on KRQE links.
And if it's like DOJ investigations of other departments in other cities, the report today should be quite revealing. When the federal government released reports in other cities, it didn't just point out general problems, it talked specifics. And we talked with a reporter from the Seattle Times who covered the story when the DOJ slammed Seattle's police department a couple years ago.
Which was a highly detailed report that was critical of the department's use of force, oversight, and practices, and also raised questions about biased policing. So, the Seattle Police Department was confronted right away with a whole host of pretty serious allegations.
The newspaper reporter there, Steve Miletek, says Seattle PD has put in sweeping new policies on everything from the use of force and internal affairs to dealing with the mentally ill and tracking and rooting out officers who don't get with the program. He also says there has been less controversy when problems do happen, because people feel the department truly is changing. The agreement struck between the city and the feds will undoubtedly hit taxpayers and hit them hard. If the DOJ investigation on APD is like investigations elsewhere, APD could be facing millions of dollars in reforms coupled with some type of federal oversight. In other cities, the price of making changes and hiring a monitor has reached as high as $55 million.
News 13 will have complete coverage of the DOJ report on APD. We'll carry the news conference again live starting at 10 this morning on KRQE and on KRQE.com. We will also have live reports throughout the day as the story unfolds in our newscasts and online at KRQE.com. An Albuquerque firefighter who joked about the police shootings is without a job this morning. Officials say Kenneth Barncastle joked that he would quit the fire department to join APD if they had, quote, a criminal population reduction unit. The Albuquerque Fire Department has a social media policy. Barncastle was fired after an internal investigation.
Crime Stoppers is now offering a reward if you can help investigators find the vandals who hit 4 APD substations this week. The damage, as we told you yesterday, was discovered Tuesday morning. Someone used red paint to mark up the mini substations at Central and Rio Grande, Montgomery and Tramway, Nob Hill near Central and Girard, and Broadway near Bridge. APD does not have surveillance cameras at these stations. If you know who did this, call Crime Stoppers. You could earn up to a $1,000 reward. Well, 3 more APD officers are being punished this morning, all related to the Omari Varela abuse case. APD has suspended Jennifer Yara for a week and Lieutenant Natalie Sanchez for a day. Yara went to Omari's school in late 2012 after the boy told a teacher his mom had beaten him. Yara wrote in a report she didn't feel Omari was safe with his mom, but that Omari had changed his story because his mom was at the school too. Yara did not arrest the mom for child abuse, did not take the boy away, and didn't even follow up on the case, we are told. Lieutenant Sanchez was suspended for not keeping tabs on her officers. And a third officer, a sergeant, has been given a letter of reprimand for not keeping tabs on officers Gil Vigil and Scott McMurrah. Now, 6 months before Omari died, officers Vigil and McMurrah went to his home after a 911 call where dispatchers could hear Omari's stepfather berating and threatening the boy. That call is on our website. A dispatcher told the officers to listen to the call before going to the house. Well, they refused to and did not arrest the mom or stepfather. Vigil, the officer, was fired, and McMurrah was suspended for 7 days.
Lapel camera video released by APD shows how officers were able to calm a suicidal man down who had allegedly fired shots near an elementary school. The video shows what could have happened yesterday near Lomas and Eubank in northeast Albuquerque. You see, witnesses called 911 saying a man was shooting a gun and yelling that he wanted someone to call police. When officers arrived, the man was still armed, at one point even pointing the gun at himself. Watch.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
Come on, man, put the gun down, all right?
Think about being a father. Look, you're a great father. You're a great father. This isn't worth it.
Think about your kids, your family.
Well, that man is now undergoing a mental evaluation. Nearby McCullum Elementary School was placed on lockdown during the ordeal.